Hey, how you doing? It's Grampy again. So here we are on our single player world, and we're getting ready to start the tutorial that we talked about to show you how to build one of these steampunk towers. And um, um, we're going to build one very much like this. Inside and out. We're going to finish the inside as well, and we're going to build it. We've picked out a spot. We're going to build it right there on that little mound. I've already laid out the basic spot for the foundation, and then we're going to have a triple steampunk tower thing here, so we'll decide what color to make it as we go forward. So as you can see, there's the basic footprint that is required for one of these things. It is 5 by 7. And I've oriented it this way. The other one, its neighbor is oriented the other direction, so I thought maybe we'd orient this one this way. And so you can see we're going to use stone bricks for the foundation along with cobblestone. So we're going to place 4 stone bricks in one direction with a space in between each one, and then 3 stone bricks on the other dimension with a space in between each one. And that's the basic framework for it. We're going to go up by 7, so let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we're going to take each one of these up by 7 or 8. And here's where my inability to build and talk at the same time will become apparent, as things will just go silent as I'm trying to do stuff. But my apologies for that in advance. I'm not experienced at this, and I suspect I'm not very good at it. So there we go. We built all of these up to a height of 7, and now what we're going to do is create a little depth in the structure, and you can see what I mean if you come over here and look at this. I've gone too crazy with my vines. I need to put some string in strategic locations to keep it from hanging down so far. But you can see the depth that we're going to try and create in this thing. So we're going to use cobblestone. In fact, I've picked out some mossy cobblestone just to see if that works. That might look pretty cool. So we're just going to place them here in the gaps, and we're going to take it up also by 7. On each one. Should have left that there. I need it eventually, but I wonder, I never have figured out, maybe somebody could tell me in the comments, is how sometimes that super fast block placement works, and sometimes it doesn't. It seems like when I'm trying to use it, it never works. So there's the basic structure. We probably shouldn't have used all mossy cobble there. I thought maybe that would look interesting, but I don't think so now. So I'm just going to, off camera, I will replace some of that with just regular mossy and leave with regular cobble and leave some of the mossy in there. But so anyway, now we've got our basic structure, and what we're going to want to do is just kind of fill the top layer in like this, and there will be something will go over the top of that. We'll talk about how we're going to build an entrance into this thing eventually, but something will be covering that up so you won't really see it. So anyway, so there's the basic structure. Now let's add some interesting detail. We could take another layer of stone bricks on these pillars, the 2 middle ones, take it up to 3, and then the middle one on the short end, and leave the outside alone, and then cap these off with stairs. It's kind of a cool look on each one. Now it's starting to look a little more interesting. And then we can even go more in depth and do something like that on the bottom. Probably just on the long side. We could do it here as well. I don't know. I think it looks a little better if you leave it without. So there's that. Then we can take some cobblestone wall and place them in these gaps at this height, at a height of 3 essentially, all the way around. And then some slabs, so just a regular stone slab. Could use, you know, stone brick slab, but I think the regular slab kind of looks more interesting. Just right on top of that, it's sort of the half height of the stairs. And what we're doing is just creating a little depth, a little interest, you know, some details that kind of will catch the eye as people look at this thing. And you can do more, you can keep going. I think you can overdo it, but you can also add some fencing in here and in places like this. And that kind of looks kind of groovy. So essentially that's it, and maybe even some cobblestone stairs in these gaps might look cool all the way around. So there you go. That's the foundation. So I hope that was clear enough. I don't know if I went too fast or lost people in the process. I'm hoping I didn't. I'm hoping that you know, this is actually a simple enough build that if you just kind of get a look at what I'm doing, it's pretty obvious. This stair placement, I use this a lot. I built a very large and detailed castle on Tango Tech's Patreon server, and that, you know, stair placement is very useful for a lot of things, creating interesting pillar designs, etc. But anyway, I just used it here as sort of foundation. You wouldn't have to. You could leave the top ones off if you like that look better. I just kind of like it that way. And you could even, like I said, you can go too far with this, and you kind of have to know when to quit, but you could do that as well. So anyway, there we go. We're going to stop and call it good on our foundation. So so there it is. Now we can see that the center of it is off center. This little house, by the way, it was built by another player on Monkey Farm's Patreon server on this first world, and I really enjoyed playing with everybody here. It kind of feels bad to do it, but I'm going to rip all that out, and I'm going to build a different entrance, underground entrance into our steampunk tower eventually. So anyway, with the foundation done, let's get into the basic structure of the house itself. And we're going to use spruce wood to do this with. So and actually, I'm going to change resource packs. Sorry if you don't like using resource packs. I'm going to use one that really people either hate it or love it, and I hope you don't hate it so much you get mad and quit watching. But this Pure BD Craft is a resource pack that I really like. It is massively cartoonish, and some people don't like it because it They just don't like it, but I do. Especially like it because of the look of the spruce wood logs. It just creates an amazing dark colored spruce log that I just love. And I'm going to use spruce as the main wood for this one. I used oak on this one. Actually, on this one over here, I used dark oak. But on this one, we're going to use spruce. So here's how that is going to work. The first layer of the structure itself is going to be right there. So we're just going to ring this thing with spruce wood. And on the one thing to keep in mind, and it's going to go on the outside. One thing to keep in mind is we're going to be very consistent with where the ends of the logs end up, so that as we build up in the air, it's the same everywhere. So the ends are going to be all facing, terminating here on the short side. If that makes any sense, it'll probably become clear. So as we complete this, we ring that with our spruce wood, and the ends terminating like this. It really doesn't matter because we're kind of going to hide all that. As you can see, we're going to hide it with trap doors, but there are going to be areas where you'll be able to see the grain. So if we come down here, I'll just demonstrate. We're going to end up putting trap doors on both ends. In fact, we could put them there. We could put them there and create some lighting as well. Sorry, I'm just kind of playing around here a little bit, but I have no idea whether we'll keep that or not. But that's how it's gonna look with the trapdoors when we're done, and we'll see some additional details. But now we're going to build up by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to do it all on each of the corners, as well as in between each log. We're going to build up by 4 with all the way around like this, with gaps in between. And the gaps is where you'll see the colored material going. The white is most traditional, and on this one, when I built this a long time ago in survival mode, I used white wool. For this one, I used yellow, but I didn't use wool. I used concrete. Let's see there. You can see it now up here in the right-hand corner. I'm using yellow concrete. You could use colored terracotta if you wanted to. I'm going to use concrete because I love the smooth, perfectly smooth texture. And I'm not sure exactly what color to use yet. Might use red, might use purple. Purple might be kind of groovy. The good thing about it is we can try one. If we don't like it, rip it out and try something else. But anyway, we'll leave that a little later. Now we just went up by 4. And, actually, when you're in survival, you're going to need a lot of wood for this, by the way. Quite a few stacks of your chosen log. If you want spruce, spruce is easy to get because you can, grow 4 by large trees and chop them down. But in survival, sorry, we don't really need that 4th level. We're going to go up because we're going to. So if you wanted to only make it 3, you could do that. Sorry, this is. I know that really irritates people when they're building in survival. It does me anyway. So I apologize, but what? But this is how this is the level that the next layer is going to go on. Right there above so that next level is going to start at the 4th layer, but the floor to this structure is going to be on this level right here. So we would have ended up deleting those logs. Anyway, so there's the second layer, and this is kind of the pattern of these steampunk houses, is they get larger as they go up. That's kind of not intuitive, right? It's normally a tower would start out big at the base and get smaller as it goes up, but that's what adds the interesting charm of these steampunk houses, is they just look impossible because they get larger as they go up. We're going to take this one up by 4 as well, so, or actually 3, sorry, 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to do exactly the same thing here as we did on the second level. I know this is boring and repetitive. If I knew how to use my fancy new video editing software, I'd do like time lapses and stuff. But I apologize, I'm completely clueless on how to use that. Again, we're going to keep these logs as consistent as we can. I don't know, what do you think about that glowstone? It's hidden, and it will add some needed light. But anyway, I don't know. We'll see. So guess what we're going to do now? We're going to do this again. So on the 4th level, we're going to do this one more time. So here we go. And again, keeping the ends consistently terminating on that side. Come on. Just like that. And then we're going to go up again. Only this time we're going to go up, really we're going to go up by 4, and we need to go up by 4. We'll use all 4 of those. And that'll become apparent here why we need that in a minute when we start the roof. The roofs of these things are really cool, but they're probably the most tedious part or difficult part, and they're not very difficult. This thing is not a difficult structure to build. That's what makes it so neat. People really are amazed by them. They love them, but they're not really all that hard to build. They're fairly simple. You just have to kind of get a pattern and an idea in mind and then follow it around. So as we try to complete all of these, there, sorry, okay. Now, there you go. There's the basic structure done. See how fast that was? We're probably at about the time we should quit. So we'll end this video here and take this up in the next one, but you can see that I know everybody saw me make all these mistakes. I hate that when you're making a video and you don't notice it. Everybody else does. But there you go. So we've got the foundation and the basic wooden framework in place. Next time we're going to start in and start creating some of the detail that makes this thing look cool. And so until next time, we'll see you then.